heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha Sharda, would like to thank all of you for writing in your comments, watching my videos, and sending in your suggestions. Today, we are going to talk about one of the basic principles of Indian astrology, Vedic astrology, and that is the Kendras. The Kendras are said to be very strong, and they're also called the Vishnu Sthanas because they are the sustainers of the chart. As the sustainers of the chart, they're also called the pillars. So what do they do to make themselves pillars? When there are planets in Kendras from the Lagna, in such a case, the planets in 4, 7, 10, and the Lagna will fortify the Lagna. And what is the importance of the Lagna is something that we all know. For anything that we need to do, the Lagna and the Lagnesh has to be examined, and the relationship between them, whether they are strong in the chart, whether they are able to withstand anything that a person does, will define a person's ability to move ahead and take any risk or to do any work. So the planets placed in 4, 7, 10 to the Lagna define how the general life process of a person will be. Will he have security? Will he have peace of mind? Will he have good partnerships? Or for that matter, how his work culture would be. So they act on a person in such a manner. If they are benefics, then life would be smooth, things would be happening at a good pace, and all goals that are set, respect of home, partnerships, married life, or for that matter the profession, would be attained very smoothly. As far as the Lagna is concerned, we see that all these support the Lagna, and we all know Lagna defines the self. So the self is supported in context of all these things. But the bus does not stop here only, because we extend this principle and we see that by extension, if there are planets in Kendra to each other, they can also form a relationship, a Kendra relationship, when there are planets in 2, 5, 8, and 11, or for that matter 3, 6, 9, and 12. When there are planets in 2, 5, 8, and 11 from each other, in such a case, a person's basic education, a person's wealth issues can be very well supported by the fifth house, which talks about wealth on, the quick income, quick investments, gambling, or for that matter, short-term gains, and mantras, shaktis, and the knowledge that is gained by mantra shaktis, your intelligence power, and your ability to harness your students and your children. The eighth house will again be supported by these planets, because eighth house is generally sadhana, and it is also the research, your ability to dig deep down and to find out things and to enrich your knowledge base. The 11th house talks about investigations. The 11th house also talks about, from a point of view of education or studies, it is the scientist's corner, where discoveries, futuristic applications is made. From the view of wealth, it gives us a definite fixed income. And when these houses are connected, or when there are planets in these houses, they enrich a person's education quotient. They also enrich a person's wealth quotient. So this is how this second set of Kendras support each other. When we talk about planets in 3, 6, 9, and 12, we see that when there are benefics in these houses, they give us an ability, courage to move ahead. The creativity is deeply enhanced, and there is the outflow of the creativity is very strong. When there are malefics here, say supposing there is a malefic in the third house, then the person can always get into trouble because of his or her uh, talking or speech. If there are benefics in the sixth house, then as per Uttarakamrita, when there is a Jupiter in the sixth house, it gives a person a wisdom and the fortitude how to fight issues. The sixth house is generally about your legal issues. It is about the obstacles that you have in life, and a good planet there, a benefic planet there, gives one the ability to sort problems out properly and with wisdom. Whereas a malefic planet there will make a person, definitely give a person the ability to sort problems out, but will give a person the ability to sort it out with show of anger, with show of dissent, with going ahead and raging and issuing legal battles, so on, so forth. When there's good, when the planets in the ninth house in support of the 3 and 6, the ninth house is wisdom, it is the dharma. So you have the ability to do things in a very dharmic manner. You have dharma means not religion, but it means doing things as and when required. So according to time, it is Kal Sapeksh, or one that changes with time. And finally, the 12th house. The 12th house, as 6th house, shows what has to be retained, what has to be fought for. We need to have an equal balance and a knowledge of what needs to be let go of. So, or where we can procure a good help system also, because say the 12th house also talks about your international name and fame. And since there are no free lunches, you have to work hard, or you have to let go of a lot of things to reach that height. Typically, if there's Jupiter present there, it talks about letting go of your wealth, or doing a lot of charities. Rahu present there, and if it is not afflicted, then one knows that one would be doing charities, but would be doing it in a different manner, and there is a strong craving for international name and fame. Whereas an afflicted Rahu could lead one to spend things for things in a uh, wrong manner, or a different kind of spending. So we know that these planets, when they are in tandem with each other, when they are in 4, 7, 10 with each other or with the Lagna, then they give a great result depending on whether it's benefic or malefic. But generally in life, we do not see that it's always a benefic or it's always a malefic. In such a case, how does it transpire? In such a case, we would see a mixed results, but the life will have its share of ups and downs, and depending on the dasha antardasha. Suppose somebody has an afflicted Rahu in the 7th house, but a Venus in the 4th house. In that case, especially in the antardasha of Venus, there will be certain respite from any issues with partners, any issues with people in general. So that support will definitely be extended by Venus, or for that matter, a Jupiter sitting in the 10th or in the Lagna. So this is how we would be able to analyze. Now let us see how Kendras from the Lagna make life easy. Planets in Kendras make life easy, or they make life a little tad difficult. The first example here I take is that of LK Advani. Advani ji has been the backbone of Indian BJP party, and for that we see that his Jupiter, which is also the Lagna lord, is in Kendra, and it is aspecting a debilitated Venus. By aspecting this Venus, it causes a Nij Bhang, and Venus is in his 10th house. It's the lord of the 11th house and also the 6th house. This Venus gives him along with this Jupiter, which gives him an international platform because it's in the sign of Pisces. This Venus also gives him an ability to get his name and fame, not just his name and fame, the name of his party on a very big platform, because it's the 10th house. And we also see that this Jupiter is retrograde, and this Jupiter is in the 4th house of mother and motherland. So it shows a very strong connection with the mother and motherland. And he had been very, very vocal about a lot of issues relating to the country. And he had always supported a lot of these things. On the same hand, if we take the example of Monica Lewinsky's chart, we see that all the houses of supporting the Lagna, the 4, 7, and 10, there are malefics present. Rahu in the 4th house, which is again a debilitated position as per many classics, and Mars, which is the lord of the 3rd and the lord of the 8th. 8th house, we know, typically is all about scandals, and we know that it was her scandal that made her life so public and created such a lot of problems for her. Saturn, which is the lord of the sixth house, and again a malefic, is sitting in the 10th house with Ketu. Ketu, as we all know, cuts. And being a professional, being a doctor, she had to, her degree was taken away from her, and she had to face many challenges in life. Because these planets are Papi Gray or Malefics, they did give her the ability to face all those problems in life. But nevertheless, life was very, very problematic, to say the least, for her for many, many years to come. And we also take the chart of Christopher Reeves to uh, talk as to how planets in Kendras, which has mixed results, can be seen. Christopher Reeves, as we all know, was a Superman personified, as they say, and he met with an accident while playing polo and then was paralyzed neck down. But that did not let his zeal of living go out of him, and he continued to propagate awareness for this disease, built a trust and everything. And we see that their Rahu-Ketu is on the 1-7 axis, and Venus and a retrograde Jupiter on the 4-10 axis, where Venus is Digbali, being placed in its own house and in the 4th house. So we see that mixed results of knowing fame, name, everything coming to him, but with a price and also an ability to fight things out in life. We generally do not pay much attention to these facts, but these small facts are very important to understand when we're doing basics in astrology. They give a very clear picture of life. If you have any such position in your chart, do write in your suggestions and your comments, and we will be very happy to receive them. Till we meet with you again, stay safe and be happy. Thank you.